50 p.m.
All right, at this time, I will call roll. When your name is called, please answer with here or present. Ramon Garza, President.
Present.
Jeff Miller, Vice President.
Here.
Adrian Stevens, Secretary. Here. Trustees, Wanda Heath Johnson.
Present. Can't hardly hear you, John.
Noe Esparza.
There you go.
Here.
Norma Hernandez.
Norma Hernandez here.
Herbert Alexander Sanchez.
Present.
Also joining us through video conference and will respond with here or present are Sharonda Johnson, Executive Director for School and Community Relations.
Here.
Christian Thompson, Coordinator for School and Community Relations. Anna Salinas, Administrative Assistant to the Superintendent's Office.
Present.
Brian Grubbs, Managing Director of Samco Capital Markets Incorporated.
Here.
Brian Clements, Executive Director for Security, Cybersecurity, Chief of Police, and Interim Director for Technology.
Here.
And Elizabeth Valdez, Executive Assistant to the Board of Trustees.
Here.
And Superintendent,
Various.
and various other cabinet members. And I, Dr. John Moore, is here, Superintendent of Schools. Staff members will practice social distancing as required and outlined. We will use masks, hand sanitizers, disinfectants as recommended. I will now turn this meeting over to Ramon Garza, Board President.
Ms. Valdez, are there any citizen participation items for this evening?
We have no citizen participation items today.
Ms. Valdez, are there any public comment items for this evening?
We have no public comment items today.
I will now turn the floor over to Brian Grubbs, Managing Director, Samco Capital Markets, Inc., who will present a workshop related to the redemption of the Unlimited Tax Refund and Bonds Series 2011.
Thank you, Mr. Garza. Dr. Moore, as presented in the agenda recap that Ms. George provided everyone, the district's Series 2011 bonds that were previously issued can be or do become callable in February 15th, 2021, at which time you have the ability to refinance the debt similar to what you've done historically in the past for interest cost savings. You can leave the bonds outstanding and do nothing, or in the case of districts that have excess available INS fund balance, you can use that extra cash to go ahead and just pay off the bonds completely and reduce the remaining interest cost. So in the case of your district, leaving the bonds outstanding as is not really a viable option because one, we do have lower interest rate environment, and two, you have a very sizable INS fund balance account. The second option of refinancing the debt, similar to what we've done historically with other outstanding series of bonds, is not necessarily the better option either. One, because the principal balance on the bonds is just over 3.3 million. In addition to that, to refinance those and complete another transaction, the cost of doing the transaction is almost as equal to the savings you would realize. So it doesn't make sense to complete a transaction, pay the cost of doing the transaction, and only to save a little bit of money. In my opinion, as a financial advisor, your best option would be to use some of that available INS fund balance that you have, which you, from a financial advisor perspective, from a bond rating perspective, you have a very large, very healthy INS fund balance. Those monies can only be used to repay the debt. So if you were to use just a portion of that, even using that portion to pay off these bonds, you would still have a very sizable balance. And in doing so, you would save just under $470,000 of interest cost. And that would take the bonds completely off the books, and it would reduce your INS fund balance, but it would still leave you very, very healthy. So with that, I'll answer any questions that you have for me this evening.
Any questions for Mr. Grubbs? Thank you, Mr. Grubbs. There
Thank
being
you.
no other business before the board at this time, the meeting is adjourned. It is 5:55 PM. Trustees of Galena Park Independent School District is now convening a regular meeting on Monday, December 14, 2020, via video conference. The time is 6 PM. I want to welcome the viewers to this meeting of the Board of Trustees. As the Galena Park I.S.D. Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals, listen to reports from the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. It is not the role of the board to make the day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operation of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members received information related to items on today's agenda. Agenda items would not necessarily be handled in the order listed on this notice. The meeting is open to all who wish to hear the matters discussed. Thank you for taking the time to join us today and for your interest in Galena Park Independent School District.
At this time, I will call roll. When your name is called, please answer with here or present. Ramon Garza, President.
Present.
Jeff Miller, Vice President.
Here.
Adrian Stevens, Secretary. Trustees, Wanda Heath Johnson.
Present.
Noe Esparza.
Present.
Norma Hernandez.
Present.
Herbert Alexander Sanchez.
Here.
Also joining us through video conference and will respond with here or present are Judge Joe Stevens, Justice of the Peace Precinct 3. He is on his way, guys. He is not present yet. He'll be here in just a minute. Just texted with him. Sharonda Johnson, Executive Director for School and Community Relations.
Here.
Grishan Thompson, Coordinator for School and Community Relations. Anna Salinas, Administrative Assistant to the Superintendent's Office.
Present.
Brian Clements, Executive Director for Security and Cybersecurity, Chief of Police, Interim Director for Technology.
Here.
Elizabeth Valdez, Executive Assistant to the Board of Trustees and Superintendent.
Here.
Cabinet Member Sonia George.
Here.
Dr. Juana Giacona.
Here.
Elizabeth Layler.
Here.
Terry Moore.
Here.
Dr. Michelle Epps. Dina Edgar.
Here.
Dr. David Harris.
Here.
Mike McKay.
Here.
Holly Malloy.
Here.
I, Dr. John Moore, Superintendent of Schools, here. Staff members will practice social distancing as required and outlined. We will use masks, hand sanitizers, disinfectants, etc., as recommended. I will now turn this meeting over to Mr. Ramon Garza, Board President.
Thank you, Dr. Moore. Ms. Valdez, are there any citizen participation items for this evening?
We have no citizen participation items today.
Ms. Valdez, are there any public comment items for this evening?
Yes, we have a public comment item.
Patrons who have duly registered for policy BED local may address the board regarding matters of concern, interest to the district, other than the character of any student, staff, or board member. I would like to remind the video conference audience that the comments of the speakers sent via online link reflect their own positions or opinions. The board may not discuss or act upon any matter that is not listed under the action item portion of the agenda. Therefore, board members may not discuss the comments. Please understand that a lack of a response from a board member does not indicate agreement or approval of the comments. Ms. Valdez, you may begin.
Dr. Moore has a public comment tonight. Dr. Moore, you may begin.
Okay, so thank you, Board of Trustees and everybody for allowing me the time to make a public comment. Tonight, we have a very special guest on our feed, and we didn't call her name and role and all, and she's been sitting very quietly. Mary Snyder Vogel is attending her last, well, maybe her last, she might do some part-time work, but she's attending her last board meeting with us as our legal counsel. I did a little homework on Mary today. She has survived through 31 board members at I.S.D. and 5 superintendents. And so Mary, on behalf of all 31 of those board members, on behalf of all 5 of those superintendents, on behalf of the entire community, 31 years worth of school children. If you think about, that's a lot of kids. You know, we have 22,000 kids around here. You start multiplying that out over 31 years. There's a lot of children that have had great benefit of your knowledge, and you've helped us provide a fantastic education, and in many cases, an opportunity to better their lives And in some cases, they're famous. They're all over the world doing great things, and you've had a part of that. And I hope you well in your retirement. I hope that all your dreams have come true along the way with us, and I hope that continues to happen for you. But most of all, I want to thank you for helping our children's dreams come true, because that's what it's all about. And 31 years worth, Mary's worth a lot more than, I know we sent you over a little sweets item today, and I know y'all enjoyed that at your home. And so it's worth a lot more than that. But I just wanted to take a few minutes. I know we took some time out of your day and you had to wait for us to get there. So thanks a million, and great luck and Godspeed.
Thank you so much. Can I just say a word or two?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I don't know. I think Jeff may be the only person who remembers this, but when the foundation started, I was asked to come and accept an award on behalf at the time we were at Bracewell. And I was asked to come and accept that award. And at the time, my younger daughter, who was maybe she was 5 at the time, she's 27 now. And she and the reason I'm wearing this pinstripe suit is because at the time that I came to accept that award, my daughter Jessie was also dressed in a pinstripe suit. And she came up, and Jeff, I don't know if you remember that, but it was really meaningful to me because having her there reminded me how much of a family I think Galena Park has been to me. You have been so kind to me through good times and bad times. And actually the first case that I tried in state court was for Galena Park I.S.D. So I've seen a lot of you change positions. I've seen just unbelievable growth and wonderful things that the school district has done. And I consider it an absolute privilege to have been able to work with you over these years. So thank you for your kindness. Thank you for letting me be part of the Galena Park I.S.D. family. And my only regret is that I haven't been able to come and shake every one of your hands or give every one of you a hug. So maybe when COVID is over, I'll come back. So thank you so much for this honor.
Thanks, Mary.
Judge Joe Stevens has a public comment tonight. Judge Stevens, you may begin.
Thank you very much. Thank you, President Garza, Superintendent Moore, Cabinet, and trustees. I come to you today not as a judge, not as a citizen, but as a 47-year-old man that has had his life shaped by many teachers in this great district, and one coach in particular, Coach Randy Weisinger. Like many kids from the East Side, I went to Galena Park schools my entire life. I wasn't a great student, but I worked hard and had parents that would see to it that if I didn't, they used some very instrumental instruments, namely a belt, that would change my mind quickly. In all seriousness, sports paved the way for me early, just like education does now. It was the foundation that was laid at the old 9th grade campus on Holly Park. I'm dating myself, but for those of you that don't know, that used to be the big gym in the district. Coach Weisinger was no pushover. He taught us the value of hard work, competing, respect, and most of all, integrity. In 1991, we were the first team to ever go to state from Galena Park in the history of the district. I still get chills sometimes driving south on Uvalde to I-10. I will never forget the streets being lined with citizens all the way to the freeway, wishing us well with balloons, homemade signs, and all the love you could ever imagine as we carried the hopes and dreams of a community to Austin. The foundation was laid back in those days for what you see today. We have football championships, a basketball championship. Our band kicks butt. Our soccer team in the entire district is full of champions. We have had numerous players go on to play professional sports and make our Galena Park family proud. I am here today to humbly ask the board to consider naming the old 9th grade gym after Coach Randy Weisinger. The blood, sweat, and tears that he put into that gym is something that many of us witnessed and probably didn't appreciate like I do now as a grown man. There was nothing like walking into that gym after summer vacation and smelling the new wax and varnish that coach helped lay himself. There wasn't a time you wouldn't find him sweeping floors or doing something to make sure that we had a state-of-the-art equipment and facilities. That stuff goes a long way with kids. I know it did with me. Many, if not all, of successful coaches, Randy's peers from that era, have had these old gyms named after them. Rick Shirley at A-Leaf Hastings, Royce Huseman at Kingwood, Buddy Carlisle, Clear Lake, Bill Kruger, Clear Lake, Scott Talton, Pasadena I.S.D, George Carlisle at Clear Lake, just to name a few. And if I can, all their records pale in comparison to Coach Weisinger's. In our conversations over the years, I can tell you that Coach's heart is still in North Shore, as he married a North Shore girl and they move and live in Waco now. And he has admitted to me in our private conversations that this would complete him in some ways. He is now dealing with Parkinson's, and like everything, he will kick its butt and rise to the top like the champion he is. I think as a district, one area we can improve is by honoring those that have come before us and made significant impacts like Randy has and continues to do. There are hundreds of young men like myself that have gone on to be fathers, husbands, productive citizens, all because of the life lessons we learned in that little gym off of Holly Park. I thank you to the board and staff for your time today. I'd like to commend you all for your service and wonderful job that you do. I know personally being a trustee can be a thankless job at times, but be encouraged and know that the work you do is appreciated and most of all needed. So from me to you, thank you all. I hope you have a safe and happy holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Stevens.
President Garza, there are no more items in this category.
Thank you, Ms. Valdez. Today's invocation will be presented by Board Member Jeff Miller, and the pledges to the American and Texas flag will be led by our new superintendent, John Moore.
Those who would, please bow with me while we go to the Lord in prayer. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, we know you by many names. We are thankful for our many blessings. We're thankful for life and for love and for family and for friends. We're thankful for the beauty of your creation, and you're thankful for our country where we have public education. Bless our educators, bless those who serve our country, and bless all of us in this meeting that we might do what is best for our children. Amen.
Amen.
All right, if you guys please stand. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to
thee,
Texas,
one state, under God, one and indivisible.
I would like to welcome Judge Stevens, Justice of the Peace, Precinct 3, who will now administer the oath of office to re-elected incumbents for position 6, Noe Esparza, re-elected incumbent for position 7, Norma Hernandez, and the ceremonial oath of office to newly elected trustee Herbert Sanchez for position 5, who was officially sworn in on November 18, 2020.
Okay. Honored to be here. My official capacity is Justice of Peace Precinct 3, Place 1. I've said this story all the time. I've served here 9 years as a trustee, and I'd rather swear in trustees than sworn in. So I'm glad to be here this evening. We'll start off with Mr. Noe. No, you solemnly swear that you will faithfully execute the duties of the Texas, and you will to the best of your ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help you God. Congratulations. Next, as for certain not least, Xavier, that's the last. Norma Hernandez, Norma Hernandez, you solemnly swear that you will faithfully execute the duties of the office of trustee position 6 for the Galena Park Independent School District of the state of Texas, and that you will to the best of your ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state.
Thank you, Judge Stevens. We will now move on to this evening's special recognition portion of the agenda. Dr. Moore.
You're gonna,
We're
the
gonna do-
ceremonial one for Herbert.
Mr. Sanchez, are you present?
I'm present.
Okay. Mr. Sanchez, please raise your right hand. Herbert Sanchez, do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully execute the duties of the office of trustee position 5 for the Galena Park Independent School District of the state of Texas, and you will to the best of your ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sanchez. Thank you for your service and congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Garza.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Judge Joe Stevens. We will now move on to this evening's special recognition portion of the agenda. Dr. Moore.
This evening, we have some special recognitions. I'd like to congratulate everyone being recognized tonight. At this time, I'll turn the floor over to Ms. Sharonda Johnson, Executive Director for School and Community Relations.
Good evening, and thank you, Superintendent Moore. I am thrilled to assist with the recognition portion of this evening's meeting. We are excited to recognize the I.S.D Business Services Department and 34 I.S.D high school students who were named AP Scholars. Let's begin by recognizing the Galena Park I.S.D Business Services Department. Their outstanding work on the district's budget has earned them the Association of School Business Officials, ASBO, Meritorious Budget Award for the 2019-2020 budget year. ASBO International's MBA and Pathway to the MBA promotes and recognizes best budget presentation practices in school districts. This award reflects Galena Park ISD's commitment to sound financial management and budgetary policies. Galena Park ISD is one of only 20 school districts in the state of Texas to earn this prestigious award. Congratulations! Next, we will recognize 34 of Galena Park ISD's best and brightest high school students for being named College Board AP Scholars for their outstanding performance on advanced placement exams. They have demonstrated outstanding college-level achievement through their performance on multiple exams. Galena Park High School has 11 students, and North Shore Senior High School has 23 students who have earned those honors. Please note, the AP Scholar Award is granted to students who receive scores of 3 or higher on 3 or more AP exams. The AP Scholar with honor is bestowed upon students who receive an average score of at least 3.25 on all AP exams taken and scores of 3 or higher on 4 or more of those exams. Finally, the AP Scholar with distinction is granted to students who receive an average score of at least 3.5 on all AP exams taken and scores of 3 or higher on 5 or more of these exams. Congratulations to each of you. In addition, 2 of the AP Scholars from Galena Park High School, Jacqueline Bardales and Katarina Cuellar, were also named National Hispanic Recognition Scholars. The requirements for being named a National Hispanic Recognition Scholar includes having a GPA of 3.5 or above, earning exceptional scores on the 2019 PSAT, and having taken the SAT. The student must also be of Hispanic descent. Congratulations, Jacqueline and Katarina. Thank you. This concludes the recognition portion of this evening's meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Any board member may make a comment during this portion of the agenda without prior posting being required. Comment items may not pertain to the character of any student, staff, or board member and may not be discussed or deliberated upon this time. Does anyone have any comment at this time?
I do.
President Garza, could I have it? President,
Yes.
oh, whose turn is it?
Yours.
Okay. I want to thank President Ramon Garza for his excellent year of service. And I want to thank him for agreeing to continue to serve until May, which saves our district having to do a lot of otherwise unnecessary work. And I want to welcome our new board members to the team.
And I'd like
I'm
to
sorry,
say,
Adrian.
I'd like to say it's an honor to serve with Noe as well as Norma. Congratulations, and congratulations to Mr. Sanchez. I'm looking forward to serving with you, and everyone have a happy holidays.
Thank you. I have a comment as well, President.
Yes.
Okay. At this time, I would like to thank Judge Joe Stevens for being here, the members of the board, and our community for placing your trust in me. I intend to carry out the duties of trustee to the best of my ability, with integrity, and with the benefit of the children and the community in mind. It is one of my greatest honors to serve you at this time, and I thank you and everybody here today.
And I just say, it was nice to see Judge Stevens back here at his home. And we want to congratulate Noe, Norma, and you, Herbert. We look forward to working with you in the future. And I also want to thank the business office, because it's year after year that they get this award. So it's congratulate on their hard work and just on our great team that we have at the business office. So just thank you for all of their hard work.
Okay, and I would like to congratulate Herbert, Noe, and Norma for being on the board. And I would like to congratulate Ms. Vogel for her retirement, and I wish she would enjoy it. And I would like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
Mr. Garza, I have a public comment. I have a comment. I just would want to congratulate Norma Hernandez and Mr. Sanchez for their wins, and looking forward to working with both of them. And also would like to congratulate Galena Park High School football team for a fantastic season. Coach Spiro Aramontos and his staff, and also Coach K and his staff at the North Shore. Both teams made the playoffs this year, and I wanted to congratulate them on a fantastic season.
Ramon, can I say something? It's really, really an honor to be back on the school board. Noe, I congratulate you for an election well run. And Herbert Sanchez, also congratulations to you. Yes, it's good to have everybody back. Feels good. Thank you.
Harold Sonny Fletcher, Senior Director of Facilities Planning and Construction, will provide a 2016 bond program construction update.
Good evening, President Garza, board members, Dr. Moore, and cabinet. My screen come up okay? We're good?
Yes.
Let's see if it wants to participate. There we go. Our first highlighted project, Jacinto City Elementary School. Both our photos here are taken of the South Addition, where we're adding classrooms there. Photo on the left, of course, is an interior picture. You can see the ductwork, the metal studs are up, and see the electrical work. The rough-in is going for that, so that's progressing very nicely. And then on the right, very happy to see the brick. If you can see that lower level, the brick is going on there on that south side. Of course, Galena Park High School. This is our addition there out at the front. See, of course, the metal studs go up on the exterior of the building, and ductwork being hung on the interior, and some interior studs just getting started on the inside. And our next project, North Shore 9th grade locker rooms. Had some pictures, if you remember from board meetings past, of quite a bit of construction going on in here. So great to see these wrapping up here in the next few weeks. And then, of course, we always have projects in design. Have our Pyburn Elementary School replacement, of course, Galena Park High School additions renovation phase 2, 3, and 4. And then our likely last summer renovations, maybe summer 2021 projects. We've got those going on in design right now. Thank you very much. And any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher. With respect to the general consent agenda, do we want to remove any items for a separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I, Norma Hernandez, move. We approve the general consent agenda as presented.
I know Esparza second the motion.
If the motion passes, I, Ramon Garza, authorize GPISD to utilize my electronic signature for these items. Ms. Stevens, do you authorize the use of electronic signature as well?
Yes.
A motion was made by Norma Hernandez and second by Noe Esparza. As I call your name, please state your name and indicate your vote by stating in favor, oppose, or abstain. Jeff Miller.
Jeff Miller, in favor.
Adrian Stevens.
Adrian Stevens, in favor.
Wanda Johnson.
Wanda Johnson, in favor.
Noe Esparza.
Noe Esparza, in favor.
Norma Hernandez.
Norma Hernandez, in favor.
Herbert Sanchez.
Herbert Sanchez, in favor.
I, Ramon Garza, am in favor. The motions carry 7-0 with no abstentions. With respect to the general consent agenda, do we want to remove any items for separate vote or take the agenda as is?
Mr. Garza, it's construction consent.
Yeah, with respect to the construction consent agenda, do we want to remove any items for separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I, Adrian Stevens, move we approve the construction consent agenda as presented.
I, Norma Hernandez, second the motion.
If the motion passes, I, Ramon Garza, authorize GPISD to utilize my electronic signature for these items. Ms. Stevens, do you authorize the use of electronic signature as well?
Yes.
A motion was made by Adrian Stevens and second by Norma Hernandez. As I call your name, please state your name and indicate your vote by stating in favor, oppose, or abstain. Jeff Miller.
Jeff Miller, in favor.
Adrian Stevens.
Adrian Stevens, in favor.
Wanda Johnson.
Wanda Johnson, in favor.
Noe Esparza.
Noe Esparza, in favor.
Norma Hernandez.
Norma Hernandez, in favor.
Herbert Sanchez.
Herbert Sanchez, in favor.
I, Ramon Garza, am in favor. The motion carries 7-0 with no abstentions. With respect to the financial consent agenda, do we want to remove any items for separate vote or take the agenda as is?
I, Wanda Johnson, move that we take the agenda, financial agenda as is.
I, Adrian Stevens, second the motion.
If the motion passes, I, Ramon Garza, authorize GPISD to utilize my electronic signature for these items. Ms. Stevens, do you authorize the use of electronic signatures as well?
Yes.
A motion was made by Wanda Johnson and second by Adrian Stevens. As I call your name, please state your name and indicate your vote by stating in favor, oppose, or abstain. Jeff Miller,
Okay.
Jeff Miller, in favor.
Adrian Stevens,
Adrian Stevens in favor.
Wanda Johnson,
Wanda Johnson in favor.
Noe Esparza,
Noe Esparza in favor.
Norma Hernandez,
Norma Hernandez in favor.
We almost finished.
Herbert Sanchez.
Herbert Sanchez in favor.
I, Ramon Garza, am in favor. The motion carries 7-0 with no abstentions. Sonia George, Chief Financial Officer and Deputy Superintendent for Operational Support, present one, the comparative tax collection report for the periods of September 1 through October 31st for the fiscal years of 2019 through 2020 and 2020 through 2021. Two, the 2016 bond program financial report as of October 31, 2020. Three, the donation report for November 2020. B, Elizabeth Layler, Deputy Superintendent for Educational Support and School Administration, presented one, the Early Head Start Policy Council meeting minutes. Two, the Early Head Start Update and Fund 205 expenditure summary. And three, the Gifted Talented Enrollment Report. An executive session of the board will now be held on the matters contained in notice of the meeting as authorized by sections 551.001 through sections 551.084 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act. The time is 6:33 p.m. Staff, with the exception of Dr. Moore and Ms. Valdez and Ms. Salinas, are dismissed from the boardroom at this time. All other staff joining us via video conference will be placed on a Zoom waiting room. Staff who are not live streaming the meeting, please stop the live stream video. Executive session is adjourned. The live streaming has begun again, and the board is now in open session. The time is 6:45 p.m. I will entertain a motion, items covered in executive session. Is there a motion to approve the employment of contractual personnel as presented?
I, Noe Esparza, move we approve the employment of contractual personnel as presented.
I second. Wanda Johnson, second.
A motion was made by Noe Esparza and second by Wanda Johnson. As I call your name, please state your name and indicate your vote by saying in favor, oppose, or abstain. Jeff Miller,
Jeff Miller in favor.
Adrian Stevens,
Adrian Stevens in favor.
Wanda Johnson,
Wanda Johnson in favor.
Noe Esparza,
Noe Esparza in favor.
Norma Hernandez,
Norma Hernandez in favor.
Herbert Sanchez.
Herbert Sanchez in favor.
I, Ramon Garza, am in favor. The motions carry 7-0 with no abstention. Is there a motion to leave the Galena Park I.S.D. Board of Trustee officers the same until after the next 2021 board elections?
I, Norma Hernandez, move we approve to leave the Galena Park ISD Board of Trustee officers the same until after the next 2021 board elections as presented.
I, Jeff Miller, second the motion.
As I call your name, please state your name and indicate your vote by stating in favor, oppose, or abstain. Jeff Miller,
Jeff Miller in favor.
Adrian Stevens,
Adrian Stevens in favor.
Wanda Johnson,
Wanda Johnson in favor.
Noe Esparza,
Noe Esparza in favor.
Norma Hernandez,
Norma Hernandez in favor.
Herbert Sanchez.
Herbert Sanchez in favor.
I, Ramon Garza, am in favor. The motion carries 7-0 with no abstention. There being no other business before the board at this time, the meeting is adjourned. The time is 6:47 p.m. Merry Christmas.